I've been thinking a lot about fantasy football because that's what I do. Even if this wasn't my job, I think I would be thinking about fantasy football every day. There was a great question posed in the Slappy Central Discord, which you can be a member of for $5 a month here on the YouTube channel, from my guy Nunya Business, which was, does Bucky Irving have the greatest amount of contingency value of any player inside the first 5 rounds? And I think the answer to that question is pretty clearly yes. Were there to be an injury to Sean Tucker, were there to be an injury to Kenneth Gainwell, I mean, I think that we would see Bucky Irving probably be a top 5, 6, 7, 8 running back in fantasy football because Bucky Irving is quite good, right? I mean, that is the thing that we know about Bucky Irving. I don't think that you can fake the results that he got in 2024. Generated 14.3 fantasy points per game on only 46% of the snaps. As we hop into a Best Ball Mania draft here, we are drafting out of the 7 slot, so we might actually have an opportunity to select one Mr. Marquise Bucky Irving in this draft, which might be quite nice. But I thought that was a very interesting question. And I wonder, is Bucky Irving overrated or underrated? I think he is one of the more interesting players to talk about in fantasy football this year. He might be one of the answers to the question that if you could know the stat line of one player in fantasy football in 2026, what player would it be? I don't know. And we are going to take Jonathan Taylor here. I do wonder if Bucky Irving might be one of the players where if we knew his stat line at the end of the year, that would do a lot in terms of generating our strategy. Obviously, Bucky himself would become a great pick if we, I mean, you could have 100% of Bucky Irving if you wanted, if you knew that he had a great stat line. If you knew that Bucky Irving's stat lines in his playing time looked more like it did in 2025, then we would know that Sean Tucker and Kenneth Gainwell kind of made zero running back possible, right? I mean, that is one of the most interesting things I think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers backfield, which is that it's totally possible that one of the reasons it's that we could start our draft wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver would be because Kenneth Gainwell scores 12.5 points per game and Sean Tucker scores 10 touchdowns. I generally find myself more philosophically aligned with Eli, wherein the day 3 running backs always scare me, to which I agree. I mean, oftentimes they do not last. That is really one of the sad things about the situation, that the day 3 running backs really don't last. And oh man, running back start. All right. Well, we are starting high T here on Memorial Day. We are going to begin with Jonathan Taylor and Kenneth Walker, which let me check the flock tool here. I'm going to guess that this combination of players, I have completed 466 drafts. 466 drafts, and I only have that combination on 4 of them. And that is coming from someone who has got a lot of Kenneth Walker. Nice little use of the flock tool there. Where is the optimal place for a north-facing window sunlight to be in a streaming room? Honestly, Jake, this is the deal where if you guys are trying to stream, if some of you guys are thinking about, so you think you can tout or your own YouTube channels or whatever, you basically don't want any natural light would be the thing. You really only want to have controlled lighting in your studio. So I would tell you to get a blackout curtain, put a sheet up over the window, a big towel up over the window. This was the case in my old studio space, which a lot of you guys probably don't even remember. This was a long time ago, but I used to have I had an upstairs room, and the window was westerly facing, and it got really bad, gnarly natural light in there, and I had to basically just honestly what I did is I taped the window shut because it was just messing me up too much. But yeah, I mean, we can go ahead and we can run. Actually, this will be a good little StatHead filter for us to run that will go along with the thumbnail for this video, which is day 3 running backs and looking at some of their production, because I think we are going to find a great number of guys who produced for a little bit and then went through the wayside. Mid round 3, Malik Nabers. I'm sorry, bro. Pick 31. I'm selecting Malik Nabers. Goated Sticks. You know what? If we have a good stream today, if we get 150 likes on this stream, if we have a bunch of concurrents and we're hanging out a couple hours from now, I will rock a World Pup draft at the end here. There you go. If you have a blackout curtain, Jake, that is what you should be using. So let's go over to StatHead. Let's find a player season finder. Let's go descending fantasy points per game. We'll go PPR fantasy points per game. We'll go combined seasons matching criteria. We'll go running back. It will be season. Let's go 2015 until now. We'll go regular season. We will go rushing attempts over 200, and then we'll go biographical filter, year of player's career, first and second seasons, and then we will go draft status, drafted in rounds 4 to 7. And then this should be a pretty interesting list of guys, honestly, I would think. So you've got Jordan Howard, immediate flameout. Bucky Irving, immediate flameout. Pacheco, immediate flameout. Ramondre has held on to his job. Tyrone Tracy, immediate flameout. Algier, he lost his job to Bijan the next year. Kyron has held his job. Freeman held his job for a little while and then flamed out. He once finished as the overall running back 1. Chris Carson lost his job. Aaron Jones never was a full-time running back. Jay Ajayi got traded. Chase Brown has held on to his job. Chase Brown, honestly, kind of an interesting comp, actually, for Bucky Irving. Wow, Teteroy and McMillan. What is happening in this draft? So we have Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, and Teteroy and McMillan. What has happened in this draft? Devontae Adams went at pick 37 to Red Raider 420. The Memorial Day people are out. How is this? Wow. CeeDee Lamb went at pick 13. That is unbelievable. So I guess Hampton went early at 11. What a weird little draft we are having to start here. So Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones, interesting. They're both there. Michael Carter immediately lost his job. Elijah Mitchell immediately lost his job. Hubbard didn't have a job, got a job, lost a job. Langford got replaced. Herbert got replaced. Booker got replaced. Alex Collins got replaced. Jerome Ford got replaced. Latavius Murray actually got better. And then Benny Snell Jr. got replaced. So for combined seasons from 2015 to 2025, first 2 years, running backs, regular season, day 3 picks. There are very few guys who just held on to their jobs forever, which is that is the warning sign there. What do I think of the NBA playoffs? I think the Knicks are crazy good. I think the Knicks are crazy good. I think the public is underestimating how good the Knicks have been in the postseason. And I think that the Thunder better win this series because the age of Victor Wembanyama is here, man. There is no turning back those tides. We are living in Victor Wembanyama's life, and if the Oklahoma City Thunder do not greatly improve their roster, because the Spurs roster is only going to get better. Wow, Jalen Waddle here. Yes, don't mind if I do. So Bucky Irving went to OMG in this draft. Bucky Irving went at pick 48. Man, there is a lot of upside there. Like I think Bucky Irving is so interesting because you could tell me that he's basically the trap back of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or you could tell me that he gets all the high value touches and that the Sean Tucker stuff was kind of a false flag from last year and that he ends up being a completely different player. I want to fade the running back hunger, but with everyone else doing it, the threshold to advance inherently higher than years past, making me relent and also draft running backs. Well, I actually disagree with part of that, which is that the threshold to advance is not going to be inherently higher than in past years. The only thing that is different is the way the market is valuing running back points. Running back points are being valued in a different way, wherein there is much more value being placed on the immediacy of running back points, and also in terms of the upside of running back points. Like both things are being valued because guys like Tootin, guys like RJ Harvey, honestly, even guys like Jadarian Price, guys like Judkins are being priced way up in fantasy football this year, which I just generally find pretty interesting. The way the market is valuing. Yes, this is quite a good start. Wide receivers might be the least valuable on Underdog. That it's definitely not true. So that is definitely not true as we select. I guess we can make this a Brian Thomas Jr. too. So it's not true that wide receivers are the least valuable. They are actually the most valuable, which is that because you have to start 3 of them. So good wide receivers are actually more valuable than every other position. What has happened was that wide receivers do not differentiate themselves anymore. That is the big difference, because basically DJ Moore and Alec Pierce are going to score the same. DJ Moore and Josh Downs are going to score the same. Matthew Golden and Cortland Sutton are going to score the same. Whereas at running back, that gap is much wider just because of the way the way teams distribute the touches, right? So target shares have sort of what would the right word be? The distribution has become more egalitarian at wide receiver, wherein a lot of teams have a bunch of guys between 18 and 22% target shares. You have very few target dominant guys in the NFL. So you just have lots of guys who average about, between 9.5 and 11.5 fantasy points per game. And that did not used to be the way that it was, which is part of the reason, by the way, why I still want to be drafting Rashee Rice and Malik Nabers, even though they are very sketchy assets at this point. I mean, can there be a more sketchy asset in fantasy football right now than Rashee Rice, who is rehabbing a knee surgery inside of a county lockup? I mean, I don't think there's really anything much more sketchy than that. However, a guy who can average 15.5 fantasy points per game in round 3 at wide receiver, I mean, it's just Rashee Rice and Nabers. I don't think A.J. Brown can do that. I mean, A.J. Brown maybe could do that. I don't think T. Higgins can do it. I would be surprised if Devonta Smith could do it at this stage of his career. So I just find that to be very interesting. Damn, Ramondre went. That's a bit annoying because we do need a running back here. Caleb Williams is still on the board. So I think just in terms of roster construction, I'm going to take RJ Harvey here. I do have RJ Harvey ranked after this. This is a little bit early for him. But in terms of quarterbacks, I would be fine with Caleb Lawrence. I'd be fine with Dart. I'd be fine with Mahomes. I'd be fine with Bo Nix here. It's probably going to end up being a 3 quarterback team, 17% advance rate with this start. Narrower part of the game tree with the running backs. And then I probably, 7 wide receivers with this start feels about right. And then, so this probably ends up being a 3-5-7-3 or a 3-6-6-3, depending. But I do think RJ Harvey was probably the correct click there. Any thoughts on Emmanuel Wilson? I remember him being decent when Jacobs was out last year. I mean, honestly, my true thoughts on Emmanuel Wilson are that I don't think he's a particularly good pick. He's not someone that I pick all that often. I'm much more of a Jadarian Price guy. And I also am much more of a, in the money weeks, Charbonnet is at least going to be active guy. And when Charbonnet returns, he will be back. Like, they're not going, I would find it very unlikely for Charbonnet to be benched for Emmanuel Wilson and Jadarian Price. I think Charbonnet will probably return to the role that he played last season for the Seattle Seahawks. So that makes Emmanuel Wilson kind of a tough click for me, because I don't really believe that they are likely to pay. I don't think they're likely to play Emmanuel Wilson ahead of Jadarian Price. All right, should we do Trevor Lawrence with Brian Thomas Jr.? Or should we do Dart with Nabers? You know what? Let's do Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I just think the Jaguars are going to be much better than the New York Football Giants. I think the New York Football Giants are going to play, honestly, some pretty dog water football. Wilson has a chance to start, not likely, but enough. I would find that very, very hard to believe. Oh, you know what? Nate, I think you got me. I don't think I know Noah Brown. Noah Brown, old Cowboys wide receiver. Oh, Noah Brown went to Ohio State. And the reason I remember that Noah Brown went to Ohio State was the first 100-yard game of Noah Brown's career came in the National Football League. Ohio State, Noah Brown. Sharp may not return if Seattle isn't any good. I'm just going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to go ahead and guess that the team that just won the Super Bowl and picked 32nd in the NFL draft is probably going to have a reason to believe that they are still competitive enough to win, 9 or 10 games or whatever this year. I'd be pretty surprised if the Seahawks totally blew up this year. I don't actually hate this. I don't take I don't hate taking Jadarian Price and Zach Charbonnet together. I think that given their prices, like for example, the prices obviously would have been way too expensive last year. But if you would have taken Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet at the prices that Jadarian Price and Sharps cost this year, I think you probably would have been happy with that as a deal. I also want to be in on, the creatine Caucasians. Like this Nabers price is very appealing. The Dart price is pretty appealing. Honestly, the Isaiah Likely price, I don't find to be too brutal. But I just think that the Giants are obviously going to be kind of bad on offense. We also have Mr. Bo Nix set up here. We are going to be behind at tight end, but that's okay. There's a position to be behind at. I could also see this as well. I think Jadarian Price could very easily be in a JCM 47% of the snaps, 11 carries to start the year. That feels quite likely. All right, bang, Bo Nix, lock it up. So we have Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix, Jonathan Taylor, RJ Harvey. We have got Harvey with Nix and Waddle with Nix. Nabers is in there. Tedroy McMillan is in there. Jalen Waddle with Bo Nix as well. And Brian Thomas Jr. with Trevor Lawrence. Love to see that. My guy Kurt Rambis who messaged me. Which by the way, I gotta say to all these So You Think You Can Tout contestants, I think you guys should take a page out of Kurt Rambis's book. Kurt Rambis tracked me down and said, "Hey man, you gotta have me on the stream." And I said, "Kurt, I'll think about it." I didn't tell him yes. I didn't tell him no. But shout out to my guy Kurt Rambis trying to live his dreams out there. How much Adam Troutman do you have? I have not thought once about the University of Dayton's own Adam Troutman this entire season. I assume he is going to play 32% of the Denver Broncos snaps this year, and I assume that he will record 0 statistics in those snaps. Tua or Penix? Tua starts the year, Penix finishes the year. That's my answer. That's the way I'm drafting him. I'm drafting a little bit of Tua in the Superflex contest. I'm drafting a lot more Penix in those Superflex contests. Also drafting some Deshaun Watson and some Shadur. I have not, I don't think, taken any Jatavian Sanders or Tremble. I'm on the clock here. All my quarterbacks ran out. Kelce would be an option here. Concepcion would be an option. You know what? I'm going to do Concepcion, who my bags have gotten a little bit light on, but I think has a chance to kind of be the breakout wide receiver in the back half of the season for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, I thought Concepcion was pretty good. Both Jacob and Corain are pretty. Jacob and Corain are both pretty bullish on them. Justin Jolly, Evan Ingram could certainly be a Fannin and Njoku situation. I mean, Justin Jolly, to me, very, very comparable as a player to Harold Fannin Jr. Not even statistics wise, but literally just the way they play. I mean, truly, I think you kind of watch them and you kind of see that herky jerky motion that Fannin does. I think Jolly replicates a lot of that, a lot of like getting open against zone coverage and things like that. I mean, Jolly was quite a good player at NC State. I remember Jolly being one of the guys that we like really wanted to draft 2 seasons ago when Grayson McCall was the NC State quarterback in college basketball fantasy. Immediately knew that Adam Troutman went to Dayton. Yes, I did. I mean, hey, that's my bit, bro. My bit is knowing where every NFL skill position player went to college. Some people like trains. Some people like books. I mean, I like books too, but everyone's got their thing, and that is one of my things. And Jordan Mason, who I do like here, Jaden Higgins, Gadsden. I mean, do I do likely? This is kind of you know what? I guess Bucky Irving's on the thumbnail. Let's take Kenneth Gainwell and let's see if we like this. See if we like this permutation. Gainwell player I do like. The difference with Jolly is that even if he ices Ingram, it may not result in useful production. I mean, Bo Nix a lot better than this situation. A lot better than the offensive situation for the Browns last year. I think Justin Jolly is a pretty good like dynasty stash and hold. He would be someone that I'm fairly interested in drafting in those sort of like, or anything deep. FFPC has some deeper formats and they're tight end premium. Like I would think Jolly to me is draftable on the FFPC. The people want to know, did you park your entire flock signing bonus into Chiefs future? I will tell you this, Mr. Brad. The very first wager I made when sports betting became legal in the state of Missouri was Kansas City Chiefs to win the 2026-27 Super Bowl. Very, very first legal sports wager I made in Missouri, was the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. So I've got that one staring at me. All right. Man, I can't believe the Avalanche, by the way, down 0-3 to the Vegas Golden Knights. Gonna ruin my, honestly, kind of ruining my offseason vibes here. All right, do I want to take Hunter for the stack? Do I want to take Jonah Coleman? Do I Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor? Those have to be correlated ceilings. I'm actually going to take Gadsden, which is a bring back to Walker anyway. And I just remain kind of higher than the market's expectation on Oronde Gadsden. Yes, I did see this. Minnesota, the first state to ban prediction markets. Yeah, I'm down bad. I'm down bad right now. The Thunder walloped by the San Antonio Spurs last night, have no answer for Wembanyama, and the Avalanche are up 3-0 in the first period against the Vegas Golden Knights and get boat raced 5-3 in the end. Just a pretty brutal series of events. So not loving that. Maybe not a great sign for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Royals scuffling in the American League Central, although Aston Villa did lock up Champions League football, which is quite nice. Finished top 5 in the league, won the Europa League. Beautiful. Actually, Aston Villa finished 4th, I believe, all said and done. Tottenham Hotspur stay up. Good for them. All right. We have got on this team Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix, Jonathan Taylor, Ken Walker, RJ Harvey, Kenny Gainwell, Malik Nabers, Tet, Jalen Waddle, Brian Thomas Jr., Casey Concepcion, and Oronde Gadsden. Gonna have a hard time figuring out tight end here. Need to get to that 3 tight end number. Probably 7 wide receivers, maybe even 8. I mean, honestly, I could possibly see myself being done at running back on this team. Man, Trey Tucker in the 13th round, man. I don't know about that. I think I agree with my guy, Mick Nix here. I do think Gadsden and Joku Kolar is not going to be that dissimilar to Kincaid, Knox, Haas. I just think, honestly, I think Gadsden is probably better than Kincaid at this stage of their careers. Maybe I just take dimes here. What's the difference here? I mean, pretty big difference, 15.3 to 16.48. Or maybe I wait for Bryce. I mean, Daniel Jones is just a better click. Daniel Jones is a much better click than Bryce Young. And Bryce Young is like, could very easily be benched in week 17. I believe the odds I got from the Kansas City Chiefs was 16-1. But hey, I mean, end of the day, it's 50-50. Either they win or they don't win. Yeah, Dimes was quite good last year, but he's also going to be playing with a torn Achilles. I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't have a great example of that many quarterbacks who have come back from an Achilles injury to compare Daniel Jones to. You know what I'm saying? Like Daniel Jones, how many other quarterbacks have suffered a torn Achilles? So Rodgers suffered a torn Achilles, very different style of quarterback. Rodgers was certainly worse coming back from the torn Achilles than he was before, but he's also a billion years old. But I can't think of another analog to young quarterback, mobile quarterback, tore his Achilles. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there are some. But for running backs, I mean, Achilles was brutal. Cousins tore his Achilles and was god awful coming back. I mean, Cousins was one of the worst when he came back from his torn Achilles. Damn, Chig went. So we are in trouble at tight end. We are officially in trouble at tight end. You know what? I never take AJ Barner. He correlates to the Carolina stuff in week 17. All right. AJ Barner. I mean, I have less than 2% of that guy, so maybe AJ Barner can save this team. I mean, Watson, awful. I think Anthony Richardson is getting drafted in the Superflex stuff. So if you're doing the Field General, or if you did the Frenchie but Superflex, or any of those contests, um, all those guys get drafted. Fields gets drafted. Richardson gets drafted. I tell you who I've been taking in the Field General. I've been taking Cade Klubnik in the Field General, just based off of, I mean, do we really think that things are going to work out for the Jets? Things never work out for the Jets. If things worked out for the Jets, they wouldn't be the Jets, right? That's the whole point. So Gino gets benched, yada yada, so on and so forth. Do I have any? I have no correlated spots left at tight end other than Njoku as a bring back. So maybe we do the Jester Gooner here as our third tight end, potentially Freiermuth. I don't see any other obvious pick we need to make. Judy gives a bring back, which we already have, versus Indianapolis. At running back, we've got Spears. I could take another Brown. Trying to see the difference between 4 and 5. Very much higher finals rate with a fourth running back. So we're gonna do. Actually, I'm gonna take Tank, who I just like. I don't have another pure handcuff on this team. I don't think Gainwell's a pure handcuff. Always nice to kind of layer those in. Win Puppy 2. I mean, honestly, this is my true assumption, which is that probably a lot of Underdog employees had the weekend off and have today off. And so I wouldn't expect a new contest today. Possible that there's a new contest on Underdog today, but my guess would be there is a new puppy or some kind of small dollar contest on Underdog Fantasy at some point this week, or they might make us fill up the Field General first. Would not surprise me if they wanted us to fill up the Field General first. Because, I mean, do you really need to have 10 different small dollar contests in the league? Like in the lobby? I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's my guess with no inside information. Yes, the Frenchie Eliminator. I didn't even get to draft it. So the first contest this year in the Underdog lobby that I missed entirely, the Frenchie Eliminator, it came out. I was on the golf course when the Frenchie Eliminator came out. I played on Saturday. I played Saturday afternoon, and by the time I got in the car on Sunday, it was gone. Okay, wide receiver, definitely need at least 7. Hey, we can do Calvin Ridley, sure. Nabers, Tet, and if you do Nabers, you do probably want some old guys on the team to buoy that early season production. So we have Nabers, Tet, Waddle, BTJ, Concepcion, and Calvin Ridley. Don't mind that. All seems good to me. I did not break 90, although I think every golfer says this. I really actually was playing quite well. I was 2 over through 8, I believe. Ended up shooting a 95 at TPC Deer Run, but it basically went like once we made the turn, I lost a ton of drives. Like I was driving the ball well, I was recovering pretty well, but I lost. I started blocking my drives left, and there was just no coming back from that, which was tough. But yeah, I loved it all. All the courses were great. I had a great time. We are gonna do. You know what? I am gonna do Terrence Ferguson. I can't quit this guy. I can't say no to my guy T Ferg as a tight end 3. But it was a beautiful. The weather was great. All the courses were nice. Tell you what, Fire Lake out in the Quad Cities. I don't even know if we were in Illinois or Iowa or what. That golf course is I would call that a hidden gem. That was that course was insanely nice. Everything was in completely pristine condition. Food was great. The clubhouse was really like everything was super nice. And the greens were insane. Like it was one of those greens where you drop your ball and it just goes. You drop your ball and it doesn't stick. You drop your ball and it just rolls. It was wild. which is very hard for me because I'm used to, the municipal courses in the greater St. Louis area where the greens are not like that. But I mean, what beats a once in a year trip with your boys for golfing? I mean, more important for every golfer is driving. You are going to gain a majority of your strokes off the tee, just in general. That's just how it goes. Putting is going to be more variable for everyone. Although, being able to make 8-footers and stuff is also very important. Wide receiver for this team. I wonder if do I do a Pat Bryant? I mean, I have like none of this guy. Pat Bryant, sure. You know what? Pat Bryant. Just watch your Dynasty Buys vid. Maybe the wrong time. Am I sending Shuck and Lad for Hoomst? Did I ever take golf lessons? Yes, I have taken golf lessons. And yes, I would tell you that it is 100% worth it. I would tell you golf lessons are worth it. Everyone should do it. If for no reason other than it will give you a much greater understanding of what the golf swing is supposed to be, the different component parts of it, and what you were actually doing wrong. It's a pretty bad game to just teach yourself. Oh, Mahomes. Yes, the deal is, yeah, I would send Shuck and Lad to get Mahomes and Swift personally, my guy. I would. Chipping for me. I guess I practice short game. I practice short game a lot, so that one is not as much of an issue for me. That like of the 4 stages of the game, off the tee, approach the green, around the green, putting, I would rank them in order for me. I would go around the green, putting, driving, approach. My approach game is quite bad. Okay, this team was Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix, Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker III, RJ Harvey, Kenneth Gainwell, Tank Bigsby, Malik Nabers, Tedderoy McMillan, Jalen Waddle, Brian Thomas Jr., Casey Concepcion, Calvin Ridley, Pat Bryant, Aronde Gadsden, AJ Barner, and Terrence Ferguson. So we have got Trevor Lawrence stacked. We have got Bo Nix stacked, and we've got Daniel Jones with Jonathan Taylor, which actually, after thinking through that, I like quite a bit. I think that the ceilings for those two players are very, very correlated. Jonathan Taylor cannot reach his ceiling without Daniel Jones beating quarterback 25. It's completely impossible. So that's maybe a pairing that I would like to wean in a little bit more. I'm going to run the sync with the old Flock Fantasy tool so I can get this team into my database on flockfantasy.com. Yes, if you're the type of person who has been thinking about golf lessons, if you are on the boundary of if you want to do it or if you don't want to do it, I would say it's a good investment. Ooh, good question. Will Justin Herbert be the most talented quarterback to ever play in a Shanahan scheme? And I think the answer is got to be yes, but no. I mean, Stafford is much better. Stafford is more talented because I include talent as the brain stuff. Like I think ability to see the field, ability to react to what's happening on the field. I think that is a big part of talent. And Stafford is one of the best ever at reading defenses, at proprioception. So the ability to predict movements of people around you and spaces around you before that happens. Let's see here. Letter grade, B- advancement grade, but A- ADP score. So yeah, all right. I mean, I take that. I guess you average a B- and an A-. That gives you what a B+. That gives me an 88. I think from the old Flock pewter. I'll take that. All day. That was a pretty good team. Let's head back into the lobby here and let's actually do my last pit bull. So let's knock a pit bull out. I've got one left of these. Come on in. The water is nice. Yes, of course. Great question from Rusty here. Isn't Justin Herbert the most talented quarterback to ever touch a football? To which I say, there are certainly some people that you could get to argue that. There are definitely people out there who would argue to you that Justin Herbert is indeed the greatest and most talented quarterback to ever ascend to play football. Would always rather have my short game be struggling than full swing. If short game is bad, you can just practice a bit. You can also, like, I mean, honestly, you can cheat. You can putt from off the greens. There are a lot of ways to hack short game. I mean, you can hit chips with your hybrid or your wood or whatever, and basically just get the ball on the putting surface. But there's no way to hack a 170-yard approach shot. The real question is Justin Herbert the most talented music video star to play quarterback? I was going to say, who is the most talented quarterback to ever be in a music video? Has I don't think Mahomes has ever been in a music video. Has Brady ever been in a music video? Has Peyton Manning ever been in a music? I mean, I assume there's like a country music video that has been out there that Peyton Manning is in or something. All right, we are drafting out of the 12 slot here. My final pit bull. We are drafting with WGHJ, Ruben Zoo, W Dunks, D Prep 80, DC Fantasy, JTL 33, Sam Korb, Kalepidu, Wet Like on Book, Albanov, and Native Baller. I actually don't mind drafting out of the 12 slot. I think the 12 slot is totally cromulent. I think you can build lots of good teams right there. Where am I at on the current John Elway Twitter wars? I have an answer that absolutely no one ever wants. No one ever wants to hear my answer, but the most talented quarterback to ever play is Patrick Mahomes. So my answer to the John Elway discourse is that I can opt out of it by saying that Patrick Mahomes is better than him. But John Elway was obviously a freak. All right. Well, Jefferson goes at 8 here. Jonathan Taylor still on the board, who I would take, obviously, at 12. Huh. I mean, I do just keep taking Jeanty. I'm going to have to start consciously taking James Cook more because I can't imagine my whole season comes down to like Ashton Jeanty versus James Cook in week 17. All right. Well, no option to do it here. I mean, CeeDee Lamb at the turn, if that is a thing that ends up consistently happening, is just an insane hack. All right, we're going to do Ashton Jeanty, and we're going to do Saquon Barkley. Combination, I don't think I have that many times, although I can fact check myself with the tool here. Jeanty and Barkley, I have on 4 of 467 drafts. There you go. It's nice to know. Good information. Wow, Lamb and Bowers at the turn there. If I'm not a top 5 pick, I'd like to pick 12. I like it just because you get to you get to choose. It's a choose your own adventure there quite a bit. Haven't heard much. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all time the last 3 years. Well, that's because people are stupid. I mean, he is the best. You don't have to agree, but I'm right. I don't consider Elway part of the. I don't hate on Elway because he's a Bronco. I think Elway is obviously a great player, but he's not as good as Mahomes. Drew Brees might be the most talented quarterback ever. I like that. I like that as an answer because as a fellow short king, you do have to give Brees a little bit of credit for being able to accomplish as much or more than many of the other ultra talented quarterbacks of all time with obvious physical disadvantages. I don't have any idea why Mahomes cannot throw the deep ball anymore. I don't think the obvious he was a deep, like he was a Tyreek merchant. I don't think that works because remember he made some of those incredible throws. Like, do you guys remember? You probably don't. The AFC Conference Championship deep pass to like Sammy Watkins and stuff like that. You know, I think that so I'm really hoping that is one of the issues that they've fixed this year. So I obviously, if you were just going on accomplishments, yes, Tom Brady is the most accomplished quarterback of all time. But if you were to say the greatest, I don't think there's much of an argument that physically, in terms of the throws that he could make, and like Tom Brady is not the greatest quarterback to have played the game. He is the most accomplished quarterback of all time. Which, if you are a certain type of person, you could obviously argue, well, who gives a shit what you can do? What matters is what you accomplish. Which I am, I'm not looking to hate on T Brady here. That's not my game. Not looking to diminish his achievements. There was certainly a time where we questioned Tom Brady's deep ball build. I mean, I think every quarterback because as you are noting, there is just some variance. There are not that many great deep balls. Like how many like the percentage of throws that are deep balls is quite low, and those plays are subject to a lot of variance, and so we're talking about like a difference of like 10 plays per season, thinking on if we are thinking if a given guy is good or bad at throwing the deep ball. Okay. I mean, Devonta, I would definitely take here, and then maybe take Hurts at the next turn. All right, so we don't get Devonta. I'm gonna do T, and then I'm gonna do Zay Flowers, so we get the correlation there, and maybe we end up. I mean, I've seen Lamar go the other turn before. Vic greater than Mahomes by those measures. I would say I actually get what you're saying. The difference being, of course, that Vic accomplished so much less. Vic never won a Super Bowl. Vic obviously was a really, really good player, but not the passer that Mahomes was. Didn't have the accuracy, didn't have the raw like gaudy numbers either. And I don't, it obviously like it's so funny being high on the Chiefs right now is it's a minority opinion. Everyone's shitting on the Chiefs right now. This did just make me laugh. Afternoon, ladies. Fedora tip. Ooh, I mean, I think the Rodgers is definitely underrated in terms of just how good his peak was. The issue is that Rodgers' peak was a long time ago, and sort of a LeBron-esque thing is happening to Rodgers, where the version that we've seen of him for like the last like 7 or 8 years has been so far off his peak that a lot of our mental image of Rodgers is of him playing poorly, playing way too scared, right? Remember that time, that period of time where Rodgers just would never throw an interception? He had like 85 throwaways in a season. I would say the Rodgers deep balls, like there's that, I don't remember what game it was or who it was against, where there's that one, he's rolling right, he's about to get sacked, and then he has like the 55-yard frozen rope to Devontae Adams. I mean, that is like prime Rodgers was truly, truly like a one of one. Yes, and this is also true. Rodgers won 2 MVPs that he straight up did not deserve. Yeah, incredible. Yes, I mean, this is like obviously Mackins is accurate, which is that greatness or greatest is a combination of accomplishments and talent, which is why to me, Mahomes is 1, Brady is 2. No one agrees with that at this stage in time. I got to be like the only people who agree with that on earth are probably me and like Mahomes' children. Over under on number of streams with Liam this summer. I will promise to try and get 1. That's all I can say. I don't think with the unpredictability of my schedule, I'm going to have much of scheduled or planned streams with anyone, other than outside of ADP chasing and the Swolecast. I just don't have a ton of scheduled much of, I mean, obviously these streams at the given set time are what they are. But yes, we will get at least 1 in. And also, thank you to Christopher Davis for the super chat. That's my guy. But yes, we will get 1 in with one Mr. Chess Liam. All right, Lamar and Burrow are still on the board. So I'm definitely going to take one of Lamar's about to get auto draft. Oh, no. By Shell Tootin. All right. Shout out to this guy for having his ranks in. I'm definitely going to take one of the two of these guys. All that tier of running backs got wiped out. Price went, Tootin went, Swift went, Montgomery went. So no fallers there. Rodgers and Jordy Nelson was some sweet, sweet music back in the day. One of the most aesthetically pleasing quarterback wide receiver pairings of all time. Lamar Jackson, perfect. And then, let's just should we do Christian? Yeah, we'll do Christian Watson. So Lamar, Jeanty, Barkley, T. Higgins, Zay Flowers, Christian Watson. Brady is the greatest. There's no debate about it. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. We'll see. Patrick Mahomes just turned 30, brother. Lot of time left on that clock. I thought about it. Double tapping the quarterbacks could have been kind of fun there, but I like having the wide receiver 3. The answer is Dan Marino. Accurate deep ball, fast release, controlled defense. Ended his career the greatest yards, touchdowns, and completions, and in an era where defenses could kill quarterbacks. Hey, I am obviously too young to significantly weigh in on the John Elway, Dan Marino debates, but I'm not here. I'm not here to say anything bad about any of these guys. These are some of the greatest players of all time, and everyone's, much. I think at that level, if we're all being honest, it comes down to a little bit of personal preference. Like me, kind of the way I imbibe and experience football, like Michael Vick is one of the most, to me, I would have Michael Vick like really, really high up in my greatest quarterbacks of all time. Whereas that would be a laughable opinion to like, I don't know, a lot of football coaches or whatever. Mahomes doesn't have that Brady fire. How many years does he want to play? I mean, that's a really funny bit. I gotta say, that's a very funny bit because if you compare Mahomes and Brady at the same age, it's not close. You compare Mahomes and Brady at the age of 29, and you're laughing, brother. Like Mahomes is so much better. So if Mahomes doesn't have fire, I would say accomplishing what Patrick Mahomes has done with no fire would be one of the greatest human achievements of all time. It really would be to just roll off the couch and be a 3-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time MVP, 3-time Super Bowl MVP would be pretty impressive. Yeah, the decade stretch with no Super Bowls for Brady. People, I mean, honestly, that time has been wiped out of people's memories. I like you talk to most people about football and they basically just don't remember it. So this period from 2010 to 2019, like basically like people don't remember that's Tom Brady's career. Yeah, it's so I mean Brady, it's so funny cuz Brady was, if we're honest, the first 2 Super Bowls, dude, Tom Brady didn't do shit. I mean, if we're being really real about it, he didn't do anything. I'm just saying. Greatest of all time is one thing, greatest talent of all time. Yeah, sure. I mean, look, if anyone really, like, obviously right now, Brady is the GOAT. I think that unlike the Jordan stuff, I think there is a chance that we could end up reanalyzing that, throughout time. Like the Jordan people will never, ever, 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 ever be convinced. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what LeBron could play till 50. It doesn't matter. But there could be a retextualization for Brady and Mahomes, I think. All right. Well, what should I do here? This is a bit of a weird spot because there's not really anything obvious to do here. Yeah, probably set up Jordan. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So let's take Jaden Reed. And you know what? Let's take Fannin. I'm kind of light on Fannin. And then we'll set up a Jordan Love thing and then do a 3-6-6-3 potentially. Mahomes not going to age nearly as well. Mobility, big part of his game. No chance he plays into his late 30s. Yeah, I'd take that bet. I'd take that bet. Whatever you want to place on that. Yeah, Mahomes is obviously playing until his 40s. Let's look at the common denominator for Mahomes. He plays for a coach that took Donovan McNabb to the Super Bowl, Alex Smith, the AFC Championship, Bill Walsh made Montana. Andy Reid making Mahomes is quite the take. Stop. Brady is the best we ever saw. Go watch again. Stats. Well, he's definitely in terms of stats. I mean, it's not close. Mahomes is much more accomplished at the same age. So if you want to just say, Brady is a winner, Brady, whatever, sure. I got no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But statistically, it is not close. Mahomes is Marino-esque, not Brady. Well, didn't Marino never won a Super Bowl, right? And Mahomes won 3 Super Bowls by 28. So I'm gonna say that's probably not true. Yeah, Rodgers. Again, this is another revisionist history thing. I mean, Rodgers was a big mobility guy early in his career. He was kind of comp for Rodgers might be someone like Joe Burrow, but the beginning of Rodgers' career, I mean, he ran a good bit. People forget, but like this early stage of Rodgers' career, he was I mean, look, 56, 58, 64, 60, 54, like the guy moved around the pocket pretty well. Exactly. I'm open to that. 5 more rings and we can discuss it. Uh Andy Reid is a good coach for sure. Well, I mean, I think you'd have a hard time arguing that Marino was better than Brady. I mean, I think Brady probably every night says thank you to D Ford for lining up offside. D Ford doesn't line up offside. Brady throws a game-losing interception to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs probably easily win that Super Bowl against that shitty Rams team. And so then Mahomes has 4 Super Bowls. He directly beat Tom Brady in the AFC Conference Championship. I wonder if Brady maybe retires after that. I wonder if they don't win that one. I wonder if Brady maybe retires after losing the 2018 AFC Championship. I mean, I'd have a very hard time saying right now with Patrick Mahomes at the age of 30 that Brady will never be surpassed. I mean, there's already a guy who has, to this stage of their careers, has beat his, like, if you look at them at the same age, Mahomes has already accomplished the same or more than Brady in every aspect. So it's hard for me to imagine to say that he can't reach any of those goals. But obviously, many people think that Brady is, or many people think that Mahomes is not good anymore, which it seems crazy to me. But hey, man, everybody has their thing. Don't let me yuck your yum. I'm not meaning to disparage Mr. Brady at all. I just everyone likes their guy. I would expect the Brady guys to ride for their guy. I would expect the Justin Herbert bros to ride for their guy. I mean, I think we are kind of overstating it. Like, obviously Justin Herbert is the greatest. All right. So I did get the Jordan Love. Oh, come on, dude. What is that? Why did this guy just take? Oh, come on. Oh. All right. Well, fuck. Was not planning on that. That was a snipe, dude. Come on. Come on, man. Lamar Jackson, Tyler Shuck, Ashton Jeanty, Saquon Barkley, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, T. Higgins, Zay Flowers, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Harold Fannin. That's so fucking annoying. Mark Sanchez also 2-0 versus Brady in the playoffs when Mahomes was in his prime. So transitive property. Mark Sanchez is better than Tom Brady. I don't make the rules, Jay Lima. I don't make the rules. You're so right. Why did I not take gold in there? Oh, you're right. Oh, man, why did he do that? He didn't need to do that. That's all right. That's the first time I've tilted a snipe. I don't remember the last time I in real time in a stream tilted a snipe, but that was annoying. You know what? Actually, I agree. Eli Manning is the GOAT because he beat Brady in the potential 19-0 season. So that's actually the real answer. Eli Manning is the GOAT. Sorry. Eli's the GOAT. You know what? Eli Manning never beat Mahomes. Sorry. Sanchez also better at beating up elderly drunk drivers in Indianapolis. See, I think this is not I don't think this is true. Obviously, I wouldn't think this is true. But if Mahomes wins 5 Super Bowls and has all of the records, then yeah, I mean it just is what it is. Like if LeBron has 5 championships or 4. Does LeBron have 5 or 4? LeBron James B-ball ref. I actually don't know the answer to this question. LeBron has how many? 5 or 4? I just don't. I don't think losing. I don't think losing a late. I don't think like D Ford lining up offside. Okay, so LeBron has 4. So if LeBron had gotten 7, I'm just telling you guys, it would have been. It's over. The GOAT debate is over because LeBron has every other accomplishment. Where am I? Kelce versus Gronk. You know, honestly, I'm gonna do a non Chiefs fan thing here. The answer is for sure Gronk, right? I think the Kelce thing is so much based on longevity because Kelce's overall numbers are going to be really high, but he also is not even the GOAT compiler. I believe the GOAT. I think the greatest tight end compiler was Gates. Might have been, or no, it was Tony G. But prime Gronk was the greatest tight end of all time, in my opinion. Just one man's opinion. All right. Well, I got to take Juwan Johnson. I mean, I think he maybe would come back to me, but I'm just taking him here. I don't care. I'm taking Juwan. And then I'm also going to select on this team. You know what? Tyron Tracy. Why not? I got like none of him. I need another running back. That got me so tilted. That snipe was so not ideal. Yeah, I agree that Kelce versus Gronk is the quintessential career long versus peak. See, I'm a Chiefs fan. I love Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce follows me on Twitter. Like I love this guy. Kelce was not a better receiver than Gronk. True Gronk was like nothing else you've ever seen. True Gronk was the all-time. He was a force of freaking nature, bro. And yeah, I mean, honestly, they really basically play different positions. Kelce is more of like I guess what would you even call his position at this point? I guess he would be the because there's 2 different positional denominations for tight ends in the Walsh nomenclature, but I've forgotten them right now. Like Gronk would be like the H tight end, like the inline tight end. Kelce is almost kind of more like I guess maybe more like a Y, kind of like a flanker. Yeah. Jimmy Graham was also nuts. The peak was much shorter with Jimmy Graham. And Jimmy Graham was never a blocker. I mean, Jimmy Graham was a... This is actually good. Let's go look up Jimmy Graham's career blocking numbers from PFF. They gotta be awful. Like, I wonder if Jimmy Graham ever got above a 60 run blocking grade from PFF. The answer almost has to be no. It's true. It's true. Taylor Swift did write a pop song about Travis Kelce's wiener. I don't think anyone ever did that about Gronk, although it's hard to say. I'm not signed in to PFF. All right, signed in. I gotta find these Jimmy Graham blocking stats. Yeah, Gronk and Kittle are much more alike, whereas Kelce is more in the Gates mold, something like that. Well, apparently my PFF subscription has an invalid authorization state, which must mean that I gave my password to somebody and they canceled on me. PFF pretty stingy about sharing the passwords. Oh, no, now I'm in. All right, Jimmy Graham, who still played not that recently. What is being weird, bro? You want me to say there's no way that the greatest football player I've ever seen can't win 5 more Super Bowls? I'm not going to say that, Nathan. I'm sorry, bro. Like, he's literally he's the best, most accomplished 30-year-old quarterback of all time. I'm not going to declare his career over at this stage. If you would like me to, I don't know how to help you. All right. Do I want to do Mendoza? Maybe we just do 2 quarterbacks. Yeah, the advance rates are about the same. I do need a wide receiver. Let's do some stribbling about stribbling. And then how many running backs do I need to take? It's really basically the same. And then Strange. Strange is a bring back to JCM. Sure. I mean, I have no Brenton Strange, but why not? All right. Will they let me pull this up? The PFF website is, I just wanted to look this up really quick and now it's basically not working. Okay, here we go. I mean, yes, obviously 3 would get some opinion split. Nick is just as much of it. I mean, Nick is literally wearing a Brady jersey in his picture. So we are not going to Nick for unbiased opinions on the team. Okay. I do have Jimmy Graham run blocking grades up. Jimmy Graham in his career, 2,100-ish, almost 2,200 run blocking snaps, 32 called penalties. Honestly, a better run blocker than I would have guessed. There are some 70s in there, so maybe peak Graham was a little bit different than I remembered. People are asking, is Stribling just Randy Moss in the 15th round? I mean, if you ask Pat Kerrane. Oh, see, this is how I know Nick is mad. Nick is currently fuming at his computer right now because he is now comparing Mahomes to Justin Herbert. Nick is at his computer just typing, just mad. Yeah, I understand because Mahomes is our humble guy. He's our humble goat. I understand Mahomes is chilling. You know, he's a good guy. He doesn't want to say anything inflammatory, but he knows in his heart of hearts what he's got. All right, how am I going to finish this team? We are Lamar and Shuck, Jeanty, Barkley, JCM, Tyrone Tracy, T. Higgins, Zay Flowers, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Dejon Stribling, Harold Fan, and Juwan Johnson, Brenton Strange. I still have Mendoza really high in my rankings. The ADP has gone against me on that one, but I don't really understand why. Feels like if anything, he should be getting more expensive. It's true. What if Keon Coleman wins 15 Super Bowls. You guys didn't even appreciate the laugh line at the end of the video on Saturday as much as I thought you would. I thought the comments would be full of people who were loving Bucks ending. Like, what if DJ Moore goes for 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns? I thought that would be the most commented online. But I guess honestly, a lot of people probably do not watch the entirety of the YouTube video, which I guess I'm guilty of. I oftentimes will not finish. Like even something I watch 35 minutes of or an hour of, I guess I don't always get to the very, very end of a video. I liked the Sopranos-esque cut to black. There you go. That's what it's all about. All right. I mean, do I want to do 4 running backs is 15% advance rate, but the finals rate is much higher with the 5th, which I guess kind of makes sense. We're going to do another wide receiver. In the context of this team, what I really need is just a guy who does not have a bye week 11. All right, this one's for Jake. I don't know if he's still here, but I'm going to take Trey Harris for Jake. And then we'll do one final receiver. You know what? And this one is for all the haters because I'm going to take Emmett Johnson. So that one is for all of the Mahomes haters. Just going to keep on drafting. Halfway through an hour-long video about Dynasty Fantasy Football. What the fuck am I doing with my life? Well, I hope you finish the Dynasty Matic channel videos, Levernucky. I hope, can I at least count on you to finish those videos? I don't ask for much of you guys, but I would like for you to support the Dynasty Matic channel. And maybe we do a little bit of Adam Randall for the haters too. Although I feel like honestly at this stage, the Dynasty Matic videos are more like 20 minutes. Those are mostly much quicker. They're quick. They're to the point. Here I can show you the Dynasty Matic videos right now. 25 minutes, 14 minutes, 17 minutes, 15 minutes, 14 minutes. There are some longer ones on there, but they're mostly pretty quick, bro. They're mostly pretty quick. There you go. I mean, these are all very reasonable. There's some streams in there. You can handle these, bro. You won't be questioning your life. You will get them done. It'll be nice and quick. Do we think this team can win the Pit Bowl? Lamar and Shuck, Jeanty, Barkley, JCM, Tracy, Emmett Johnson, T. Higgins, Zay Flowers, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Deshaun. You know what? I actually don't think I can take Adam Randall on this team because I think this team needs 2 more wide receivers. If you have Dejon Stribling and Trey Harris, you basically just took 2 fancy zeros. And I mean, we love a fancy zero around here. Ooh, Bryce Lance could be for the haters. Has there been a good update on Bryce Lance yet? Have we gotten like, oh, Kellen Moore has plans for Bryce Lance. Bryce Lance is his secret weapon. If the Saints took Brady instead of Bolger, would he still have had the same career? So honestly, that's a great simulation. I would like to re-rack. Like, I would love to get a sim of Brady's career, different team. What if Bledsoe never injures his knee? I mean, that's a really good one. I'd like to see. That's like a great idea for like a Madden YouTube video or something, or for someone to sim up, like simming Brady's career drafted somewhere else. It's true. It was always Darnell Mooney in the 18th. That's what they're saying. I'm hearing it. People are saying that more and more. Yeah. Could what if it's Malachi Fields in the 18th, brother? I've thought about that as well. The kids certainly do not remember Drew Bledsoe. I have not taken Caden Wetjen yet. If everything is zigging, what would a Zag draft look like? I mean, Zag draft would be drafting like it's 2023, just drafting a shit ton of wide receivers. Okay, we're gonna do Bateman. We are gonna do Bateman, and then we are gonna do Chris Brazzell, who's become one of my favorite clicks here. All right, the potential winning Pitbull team was Lamar Jackson, Tyler Shuck, Ashton Jeanty, Saquon Barkley, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Tyrone Tracy, Emmett Johnson, T. Higgins week 17 game correlation with Zay Flowers and Lamar, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, insta-sniped on Jordan Love, Dejon Stribling, Trey Harris, Rashad Bateman, Chris Brazzell, Harold Fannin Jr., Juwan Johnson, and Brenton Strange. No, I am not Bateman over Surratt and Lane, but on this specific team with Reed, Stribling, Harris, and Brazzell, I was like, dude, I don't know who's gonna be playing the first month of the season. In general, I would prefer Lane and Surratt. But on this team, I thought like just having a guy who's active the first month of the season might be helpful. Did this draft get completed? No, not quite yet. When it gets completed, I'm going to press the sync button and get that loaded up on flockfantasy.com. I don't see Surratt or Lane passing Bateman. Well, I could definitely see Jacoby Lane doing it, but it's more, I wonder if we do see a little bit more 11 personnel. They're the backup tight ends to Mark Andrews this year are both rookies. So I wonder if we do see a little bit more 11, try and spread things out a little bit more. Like everyone is so focused on the 12 and 13 personnel stuff in the NFL. I mean, talking about zigging and zagging, I really, really do wonder if we do see some teams do a legitimate zag. Like it would be very interesting to see like 11 or even 10 personnel. I really do wonder, do you think there's any chance that teams are going the other way and just trying to be so much faster and so much more multiple than the defenses? Because that is another thing that could certainly work. Like why if a team is going to play nickel as their base and their nickel guy ends up being a bigger, slower. I mean, some teams were playing 3 safeties last year. If someone is going to do that to you, I mean, run past them. Really think the Saints still run 11, which unfortunately makes Vele draftable. Ravens coaches were saying they have the 2 best tight ends in the league. That tells you it's a lot of 11. Well, 2 best tight ends would be 12. GM Ray, hope you're having a great Memorial Day. The Chargers are going to break football this year. Could be. Okay. Computer did not like this one as much. A C advancement grade, B- ADP score. There were a lot of reaches on this one. Big reach on Juwan to complete the stack there. Okay. Let's go back and let's run another Best Ball Mania draft. 114 of these left after this draft. Well, people are saying it's always been Oscar Delp season. I've got a couple Oscar Delp clicks here and there. Why not? Do you upgrade Vele's draft capital from 7th to 4th after the Saints trade a 4th for him? No. In fact, Devon Vele was such a weird prospect, Peter, that the way that I built the slap model basically like Vele being an age 26 prospect gave him a negative score. It was one of the weirdest edge cases in building the slap model was that he legitimately got a negative score. When I click Oscar Delp, I sing help, not just any tight end, help. I like that. All right, drafting out of the 10 slot in this one. What da 6-7? Hate that name. Come on. DC Fantasy Player Props King. My guy Underset. I wonder if he's watching or if he just is lurking in there. JTL 33, Jeremy 21, WD Sim 12, RB1, great underdog name, Floyd, Dirty Randy, and Jand B. We are drafting out of the 10 slot in this one. We might be able to get the trademarked Matic start with Justin Jefferson and Ashton Jeanty. This is Devon Vele's age 29 season. It's true. Yeah, that is not a joke. That is actually just what it is, which is hilarious. I mean, it doesn't even, there's no punchline to that joke. It is just legitimately hilarious that entering into his third season in the NFL, it's his age 29 season. I want to say his deal was, I think his deal was that he did a mission trip. I want to say that was why, like Vele, that is why he was in college so long. But I wouldn't say that with 100% certainty, but I believe that was the cause of his overagedness in his prospect profile. Yeah, we are. Well, I mean, we could get St. Brown here. All right, Justin Jefferson, bang that button in. That's a very easy click for me. There you go. Spend his best NFL years on a Mormon mission. Any early picks for players that get coach speaked up 3 to 4 rounds this summer? I mean, Chris Rodriguez, it's already happened. Chris Rodriguez, we already got that there. We could definitely get some good coach speak on the Minnesota backfield. Mason, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Brooks is a good one. Jonah Coleman Charbonnet could be an interesting one. Probably will happen more at wide receiver and tight end. All right, we did it. We executed the Matic. We did a Kenneth Walker, Justin Jefferson start in Best Ball Mania. Gosh, that feels good. Who else? I mean, who at wide receiver could get coach speaked up? We could see, I mean, if the coaches tell us that Michael Wilson is going to be the focal point of their passing game, that could be a good one. Concepcion could get some good stuff. Pearsall could get some good stuff. Jaden Higgins could be in there. Travis Hunter, I guess that's the most obvious one, and that could go in either direction, right? It could be Travis Hunter is only going to play on defense. You know, we have a bigger need on defense or whatever. Or it could be the other way. It could be Travis Hunter. We view him as a full-time offensive player. We are going to give him less responsibility on defense or whatever. Yeah. I just think Liam Cohen is too good to design his offense around a running back. The D knows isn't running a route. I completely agree. Yeah. I just don't buy any part of the Chris Rodriguez thing, but I am the exact type of person. Like I'm built in a lab to not draft Chris Rodriguez. Does your son nap in his crib? We are currently in the process of trying to out of contact nap at 8 months old. Yes, he does. He does nap in his crib. No nap. Well, I mean, he naps. He sometimes naps in his stroller, or in his carrier or whatever. But yeah, he's probably waking up right now. But yeah, he naps in his crib, which is a tough thing to do. Hard thing to do to get your kid on a good sleeping schedule. Yeah, Ted Hurst is a 25 spot ADP riser based off of one statement. And the statement wasn't even about him being good. It wasn't about, oh, like we got Ted in camp and we're really impressed and yada, yada. It's literally just, we think Ted Hurst can play the X wide receiver position. And because the market is now saying, okay, well, that is a logical way to distribute the positional playing time. Godwin as the slot, Emeka Egbuka as the Y, Ted Hurst as the X, Kate Otten is the tight end, Bucky Irving is the primary running back. Like the market is big time in, and which I did it too. I mean, I've got Ted Hurst ranked ahead of average draft position. Let's do what? Let's do T Higgins. You know, T is just I mean, the bye week bros are going to come after me. The week 6 buys here. McMillan is just good at football, though. You know, I'm a little less convinced than you that he's quite good at football. I don't think he's bad at football, but his yards per route run stuff is a little bit underwhelming compared to what you might think. 2.2 yards per route run, a very limited sample last year, but 1.18. So his career yards per route run is quite poor, sub 1.5. I think his career yards per route run is 1.38. The bye week, dude, there's no defeating the bye week bros. There, it's impossible. But I mean, you know what? We're about to take the cover boy right here. Or maybe I'll take Scattaboo. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do Scattaboo on this one. So we have got Ken Walker, Cam Scattaboo, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, potentially going to take Burrow at pick 63. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Where are you guys at on Josh Allen? Are you guys Josh Allen drafters? I am ambivalent about one Mr. Joshua Allen. I just have a hard time with the opportunity cost, like passing on Chris Olave, Zay Flowers, Scattaboo. I would say if Josh Allen was a 4th round pick, I would probably have, I don't know. I mean, 15% of him or something. Like if it was Mike Evans or Josh Allen, I would be taking a lot of Josh Allen. I mean, I don't even have above market Lamar Jackson, I don't think. Okay, 9.2. So I have a little bit more Lamar Jackson, but like Burrow, I'm below market. Daniels, I'm below market. Obviously, I'm way high on Caleb. Below market on May, below market on Dak, below market on Herbert, right at market with Lawrence. Now, part of that is that I take a lot of Mahomes, but just getting 2 quarterbacks in that window instead of piling in on Allen. Now, that could easily be a terrible strategy. I mean, I would believe you if you told me that Josh Allen, scores 415 points and ends up being one of the most important players in fantasy football this year. And I mean, he could very easily have a 40, 50 point game in the fantasy football playoffs. I completely see it. I don't, is that the most likely scenario? Unclear. I don't know, but I think it is possible for sure. For me, so much of Jaden Hurts, Burrow. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even say I prefer Caleb in that room as much as it seems based off of my ownership of him. But it's just that I draft so much of, I have 11% Loveland, I have 20%, 27% Luther Burden. I mean, Luther Burden might be, goodness, he might be close to my most drafted player at this point. Yeah. 468 completed drafts. Luther Burden, 26%. Gunnar Helm, 25%. Terrence Ferguson, 24%. Ken Walker, 24%. Zachariah Branch, 23%. So Luther Burden, my most drafted player is not even a Kansas City Chief, which, the haters are sick about that. Mike Evans is this year's Devontae Adams. What if Devontae Adams is this year's Devontae Adams, bro? You know what? We're gonna do Tootin here. Ken Walker, Cam Scattaboo, Byshell Tootin, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins. The reason why I took Tootin there is he is the clear last tier of a running back. Much more likely to be a wide receiver. I like coming around the turn. Yeah, Lamar goes, so I'm locked into getting a wide receiver that I have fine here. Well, actually, I guess these guys could double tap Tyson and Tate, in which case I will be selecting Joe Burrow. Wow, Chuba Hubbard ahead of Tyson and Tate. I gotta say, man, that seems kind of wild. All right, Carnell Tate, come on down. Good on our bye weeks. Just 3 alphas there. Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, and Carnell Tate. You love to see that. Why take Scattaboo? Needed a running back. Not a big Bucky Irving guy. So it was, I mean, Bucky Irving did not go until pick 52. So I think I probably made the right decision there. I take Odunze over Burden. That seems wild, bro. I mean, Odunze got freaking frame mugged by Luther Burden. I don't, maybe I'm the problem, but I don't see it with Rome Odunze. Rome is, I mean, I don't think Rome is a bad player, but like, you know, he had the 31-point game against Detroit and just 97% of the snaps, 5 targets, 99% of the snaps, 3 targets in a game that his team scored a bazillion points. Like, he just sucked in all these games. And he wasn't very good as a rookie either. You know, he basically had 3 games where he was any good as a rookie. And Burden was a full-time player. So unlike Burden, who took a long time to get on the field, Rome started his first game and just did fuck all. I mean, this could definitely be true. I mean, I could end up being wrong about Burden's overall statistical output because Colson Loveland is so good. And I'm actually quite open to that, which is that Loveland might be so good that there's actually not that much meat on the bone for Burden. I mean, ultimately, I am just very bullish on Ben Johnson. I'm very bullish on Caleb Williams. I'm very bullish on Burden. I'm very bullish on Loveland. I'm Burden. I am bullish on the whole team. And so because I like the whole team, obviously I should draft more of Rome probably. Am I correlating week 17 when drafting? Yes, I am, which is why I have this tool overlaid here. So you see this little spot in purple where it says at Tennessee. This tool just shows me the week 17 matchups while I'm drafting. So I am consciously correlating week 17 matchups, and that is why I have the Fantasy Flock overlay tool on my screen while doing so that I don't have to keep track of all of that in my little head. What if Caleb throws for 50? What if Caleb Williams throws for 5,550? Which he could definitely do. He could definitely do that, in my opinion. I actually think I'm gonna skip on the Lawrence and Dart tier. I've got a plan here. I'm probably gonna end up getting sniped again, so I'm gonna take Addison first, and I'm gonna see if I can sneak Tucker Kraft around here potentially. But I have a plan at quarterback. Rome 90 targets in 12 games, Burden 60 targets in 15 games. Yeah, true. Do I have any Cole Kmet as a third or fourth tight end? No. When I get down to the end there, honestly, I just give myself a little treat, Michael, and I take Eli Raridan or Oscar Delp when I get to the end of tight ends there. All right, so I didn't get Tucker Kraft. That did not come through. All right, let's take Godwin. That'll give me more quarterback options, and the tool has me at 3 quarterback, 5 running back, 7 wide receiver, 3 tight end team, which sounds about right. But I've got outs at quarterback here. No, my plan is not Patrick Mahomes. Honestly, probably true. Probably no quarterback. I mean, there were no 5,000-yard passers last season too, right? I agree with Nick here that I think people are underestimating that Caleb Williams has so much more room for growth in a positive way. I mean, he got so much better year 1 to year 2. He cut his sack rate literally in half, right? He cut his sack rate in half. I don't understand why we can't see a commiserate thing happen wherein we see him also improve greatly in terms of completion percentage. What are the odds Ty Simpson becomes a starter next season? Probably low. Low in my opinion. But I've been wrong about these things before. So yes, I will. I'm gonna do one more at least. Is anyone super overpriced in your opinion? There are a couple guys I have a hard time with. I think McLaurin is overpriced. I think Alec Pierce is overpriced. Parker Washington, probably a little overpriced. Kyle Monangai, maybe a little bit. Market's pretty good this year, though. I was about to. Oh, yes, I wanted to compare yards per route run. So 2025, Yards per route run, and let's include 2024 there as well. So this is the entirety of Rome Odunze's career versus the entirety of Luther Burden's career. Yards per target, 9.23 for Burden, 7.1 for Odunze. Yards per route run, 1.47. Yards per route run, 2.82. It just, I got to be honest, man. I think Luther Burden is probably better. I just think he's a better player. No offense, but Delpin Raritan over Komet is wild. I don't think Komet's very good at all. I think Komet's probably terrible. Komet is easing into the Austin Hooper part of his career very, very easily. Thoughts on Brian Thomas Jr. as the Jags wide receiver 1? Well, I probably have an answer you don't want to hear, Howland. First off, I do think Brian Thomas Jr. is probably the best pure wide receiver on the Jaguars roster, but you are speaking to a Travis Hunter guy, which is probably not what you wanted to hear. Probably when you turned into a fantasy football stream on Memorial Day, you probably didn't want to have someone talk to you about Travis Hunter. All right, let's do Kyler. And then my plan was to try and do, wow, I did not think these would be the wide receivers available to me here. I can try, maybe I try and push Baker around to the next turn. I mean, it's not going to happen. Could do a Cam Ward, Aaron Rodgers thing. Put the team on Kyler Murray's back. My guy Matt loves Raritan. You love to see it. I mean, what do I do? Do I take Baker here? Okay, well, I was gonna take Downs, but he went. Yeah, I'm just gonna take Baker. I wanted to do Jordan Love, but assuming I don't get sniped here. All right, Mayfield. So we got Kyler, Baker, Ken Walker, Cam Scatterboot, Byshelf Tootin, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Carnell Tate, Jordan Addison, and Chris Godwin. Love that there. Travis Hunter is not a full-time defensive back. He's gonna play both. Not a big BTJ guy. I was trying to see where your head was at in that regard because their ADPs are all in the same range. Yeah, I have the most. I have the most Jags. I can show you right here the way I've drafted the Jaguars. If I go to the, so here you go. I've got 11% of Brian Thomas Jr., 21% of Travis Hunter, 6% of Jacoby Myers, 4% of Parker Washington, which is right about reflects how I feel. Honestly, I think they're all kind of fine. Rashi is not going to be suspended for this incident based on the reporting from the NFL mouthpieces, but it doesn't mean that Rashee Rice is not going to do something else stupid. Like Rashee Rice is live to commit another crime. Rashee Rice is live to, I mean, like would any Rashee Rice story at this point surprise you? Like, oh, Rashee Rice committed a crime with his Instagram model girlfriend. You're like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess he probably did. As a 40% BTJ rookie boat, Trevor's game fits so much better with Parker on the quick stuff. True. Does Christian Watson bounce back from the injury last season? Ease any concern with drafting? Yes. I mean, literally, I am drafting more Christian Watson and just injured guys in general than I thought. Yeah, that's been Christian Watson changed my feelings about guys like Najee Harris, Patrick Mahomes. I will say specifically for Nabers, the injury reporting on Nabers is rough. What he's been saying, what the doctors have been saying, what the team has been saying about Rashee Rice or about Malik Nabers' knee is not great. You know what's funny is Kelce looked so bad last year. Like Kelce, watching Travis Kelce, you would have been like, this guy is having the worst season of his career. The dude was honestly good. Like tight end 8, tight end 10, tight end 5, tight end 9, tight end 2, tight end 8, tight end 3, tight end 4. Like the guy was legitimately good. for fantasy football last year. You know, it's just one of those funny things. Finishes the tight end 9. Like it's just very funny how that worked out. Thoughts on the Vikings backfield? I do think the offense is obviously going to be much better. I just like I honestly want to just take Claiborne. All right, we'll take Ferguson here just for a little bit of ADP value there. I mean, like 5 spots, so realistically nothing. Do I take Cam Ward here? I mean, I've got like none of that stack. But yeah, I mean, my Vikings backfield thoughts are that Aaron Jones is going to project very well for like DFS every single week. But I feel like the ceiling is kind of hard to find there on him. What's the tool? Yeah, 3 quarterback is the big edge here in the tool. So we're going to take one Mr. Cameron Ward. And I have got to run and pee real quick. So I've got a little surprise for you guys. Not really, actually. You know what's coming. You want to scroll the F down for Keandre Lambert-Smith.
Oh my fucking god!
I'm about it. I'm about it.
This is too good.
Someone slap the Keandre Lambert-Smith button. The first KLS reception, I was like, wow, he is the greatest wide receiver of all time. Is the 9th round too early for KLS? People are asking.
4.37 40 played at Auburn. This is Darius Slayton vibes.
My thesis is at least not that he is Jerry Rice's kid. Whenever Lenars makes the next clip, we gotta make it just a smidgen longer. Yeah, I think that Claiborne is quite a strong pick. I mean, in terms of like the day 3 running backs from this class and their ability to create an instant fantasy football impact, to me, Claiborne is really high up there, because beating Jordan Mason out and beating Aaron Jones out at this stage, like Aaron Jones is how many games is Aaron Jones going to play? 10 maybe? Feels like he probably is not going to get a full season in. I actually agree with this quite heavily with Peter. I feel like Worthy is very correlated to smashing Mahomes. Yes, Kelce or Rice can be good for fantasy if the offense kind of sucks like it did again last year. But if the offense is good again and they're like the 3rd best offense in football, then we're probably going to really like the results that we're getting from Worthy. Like Worthy, not like, I mean, part of this is like unknowable, but like what would have happened to what would Xavier Worthy's season have been last year without the torn labrum? I mean, there's no way to know. There's no way to even accurately diagnose like whose fault was all of that stuff. All right, we are going to take Spears with the correlation here. Charbonnet actually is kind of an interesting pick as well. And then we are going to do, yeah, for sure, 3 tight ends. So probably a 3-5-7-3 by the tool here. Yes, 3 quarterbacks by round 12 is what I will remember about fantasy football this year. All right, so we're going to do Spears, get a little correlation boost there. All different bye weeks for our guys, which we like. I'm not going to take Hawkinson on this team. We're going to save our tight end picks for a smidgen later. It was literally Kelce's fault. I mean, quite literally. He took the dude out. The most negative EPA per play of the year, people are saying. I mean, I guess I could pass on Helm here and hope to get him at the next turn, but I'm not going to, because imagine not getting Jester Gooner Helm on a Cam Ward team. So we have Kyler, Baker, and Cam, Kenneth Walker, Cam Scadabu, Byshell Tootin, Tajay Spears, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Carnell Tate, Jordan Addison, Chris Godwin, Jake Ferguson, and Gunnar Helm. This actually is quite a nice team, I think. Dude, it is true. Kelce and Mahomes both destroying their own wide receivers is insane. It's so funny. This is also wild. We got the Worthy 2-touchdown game against the Ravens to start 2024, and then Kelce killed Worthy to start 2025. Absolutely brutal occurrences of things. Would you rather lose the quarterback position or tight end position in your pod? That's an interesting question. I think you would rather lose the tight end position in your pod because overall tight ends score less points, right? So if you don't have Bowers or McBride, you are probably going to lose anyway. And you're not going to lose by that much comparatively. But like if your quarterback grouping is Jordan Love, Bryce Young, and Aaron Rodgers, that can hurt more. Is that true? I don't think that's true. Oh, Travis Kelce will be 37, but I mean, I don't know. I think maybe you need to reevaluate that a smidge because Kelce is still probably pretty good, man. He scored 11.3 fantasy points per game last year. I think you should consider reevaluating that. Did I see Taylor Swift at the Cavs game? I did. I didn't see that she looked miserable though. Must have not entered into my algorithm, which is not to say that you're wrong, but fun for them to get to go to a different type of sporting event. I'm sure Taylor's seen. I'm sure she's good with the amount of football games she's seen in her life. Probably never thought she would see that many football games ever. Are they getting married this summer or next summer? Does Mahomes, does Kelce have to play good enough to pay for his wedding? Is that a narrative? Like, oh man, this wedding bill is more than I thought. I got to hit some of my unlikely contract incentives. Got a lot of stacks pending here. Love looking at all this green. Cade Otton could be, honestly, Cade Otton maybe is a nice third tight end here. I'm in on Mark Andrews very much so. I mean Andrews isn't even really that old. Andrews has, I think, plenty of juice left in the tank. Another year removed from the tightrope surgery. About to press the Ted Hurst button if my guy Floyd doesn't do me dirty here and take an 8th wide receiver. All right, X wide receiver, Mr. Ted Hurst. We are. I think we're cooking. Honestly, this team to me, I think we are cooking in quite a nice little direction. Yeah, it's true. Travis doesn't have to pay. Isn't that funny? Like imagine like being as successful and rich and famous as Travis Kelce is, and he is clearly the minnow in his relationship. I mean, it is just one of the funniest things in the world. That like Travis Kelce, there are places in the world where Travis Kelce can walk into. Like Travis Kelce could go to a bar in like, I don't know, London probably and not be recognized. But but Taylor Swift has to have security guards, everywhere she goes, which is just crazy. All right, the 5th running back we take on this team is going to be Sean Tucker. Got that done. All right, 2 more picks here. They're probably both going to be wide receivers. No, 1 tight end. Unrelated to fantasy football, what are your thoughts on the Coke Zero versus Diet Coke wars? I'm an enjoyer of both. This is a Coca-Cola Zero sugar right now. Coca-Cola Zero is closer to the flavor of real Coca-Cola. Diet Coke is like its own thing. And Diet Coke is, to me, the superior drink. But I like both quite a bit. With Andrews, I think the car crash mattered a ton. It's true. Those are weird injuries. Kelce is still a first ballot Hall of Famer, probably top 5 all time of the biggest sport in the United States, and he is no doubt the boyfriend. It's so true. He is the boyfriend of Taylor Swift. Like more people, like even still, more people, I think even in the United States, probably think of him in relation to Taylor Swift than to just like himself. feel like if you lose the quarterback position, you're still putting up 10, 15 points a game. And if you lose the tight end position, you're putting up 0. Yes, but it's all, you are right, but it's all relative. Like the positional stuff is related to how everyone else at the position scores. I would say, Peter, this is one of my skills. I do have an elite palate for 0 calorie fake sugar carbonated beverages. I mean, it's basically the only thing that you can consume that is sweet while you are trying to eat a low calorie diet that still tastes good, because low calorie flavored food like sugar-free pudding, sugar-free Greek yogurt, they do not taste quite right. Like those Oikos 000 Greek yogurts, which are like an elite diet food, like 15 grams of protein for like 90 grams of calories, and it's kind of sweet. They don't taste very good. Not like a Diet Coke actually tastes good. I'm actually gonna take Gesicki on this team. Hot take. Oh well, no, T Ferguson is not available for me either, but like that correlation with T, because you're just kind of betting against Jamar Chase in that scenario. And then final wide receiver. No real correlation here. It's not a late round. I mean, I guess I could take one of these Tennessee jabronis if I wanted, like DK or Io Manor. But I actually think I'm going to take... Do I have a rookie wide receiver on this team? I do have Ted Hurst, but I might take another one. Skyr yogurt is quite good, but it has real sugar. Malik. Yeah, you know what? Malachi Fields correlates to the Dallas stuff that we've got. Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Cam Ward, Ken Walker, Cam Scattaboo, Byshell Tootin, Tajay Spears, Sean Tucker, Justin Jefferson, Sean Tucker, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Carnell Tate, Jordan Addison, Chris Godwin, Ted Hurst, Malachi Fields, Jake Ferguson, Jester Goonerhelm, and Mike Gesicki. These are, yes. So the ratio, these just are delicious. The ratio Greek yogurts are so good. I don't know how they do it. What are those? Those are 150 calories, but 25 grams of protein. I mean, man, they are so good. I will say, and maybe this is probably just like edge case stuff that really doesn't matter. They are pretty expensive. I think it's $8 for 4 of them. And there's just something about paying $8 for 4 yogurts that I'm like at the end of the day, does the difference really matter? No, it definitely does not matter. But a lot of the times you can get the Oikos ones for 99 cents. Like they'll be like on sale or whatever. And so it feels a little bit easier to do that. And then it's funny, a lot of the healthy foods are actually less expensive. Like egg whites are actually pretty cheap. And stuff like that. Or like the GOAT thing to do is you just go to the grocery store and you get whatever meat is like the manager special or whatever. Like, oh, this ground beef has been out too long, or these steaks have been out too long, or this pork has been out too long, or whatever. Core Power protein shakes. I'm not that big of a protein shake guy. I prefer I'll give you guys one of the things I love. I will make sugar-free pudding with Fairlife fat-free milk, but then when I make it and whisk it up, I just put 2 big scoops of protein powder in there. So it's kind of like protein yogurt. It's really, really good. I do need a Ninja Creamy. I don't love the overconsumption of having a device for like all the things. Like we are not big like kitchen device people. Like all the devices we have in our kitchen were all like wedding gifts. Like we don't buy, the special thing, an onion slicer or whatever. Yes. I actually have had these. Now that you say it, now that I know they're the Fairlife ones. Okay. Let's do one more. What do we do? It's Memorial Day. We're all hanging out. Everyone's off work. Is there any? I was going to check and see if there was a new contest. All right. Pitbull. I'm maxed. Field General, I've got 124 left. Dachshund, done. Frenchie Superflex, done. BBM, now we have 113 left to go. Yes, these are chicken drumsticks, always on sale, very easy to prepare, very good. See, you don't even need a rice cooker, because when you're a G, you just can make rice in a pot, which is what I do. The key, here's a key. They don't tell you this when you grow up as a young American man or woman. Key to making very good consistently, like, oh, like this rice is right, it's fluffy, it's good, is you got to wash your rice a couple times before you cook it, get all the starch out of it. Cooking with Davis Maddock. But I mean, trust me, when you're cutting, you eat a lot of rice and you eat a lot of potatoes. And oh, by the way, this is a very funny story about why, when you eat very healthy, the consequences of not eating healthy. So obviously, on this boys trip that I had this weekend, we went golfing. You know, I didn't meal prep for this. I didn't. I wasn't thinking really good. First day, I eat pretty good. I just have a steak for dinner or whatever. Second day, we get done golfing. We played 36 holes of golf. I spent a long day, and we go back to the hotel. The hotel's at a casino, and they have like a bar and everything. And we I housed an entire sausage pizza, whole thing, 8 slices, knocked it down, had to be done. All right, we're in here. Best Ball Mania. We are drafting at the 4 slot. So this is going to be a Puka Nacua team. We are drafting with Net 317, Grant KS, D Money, Native Baller, my guy Jay Sarab, Glue Eater, Underzet, Zesking, Matt Murphy, W Zeltner, and WD Simp 12. Honestly, didn't end up taking any golf videos. We were kind of just hanging. Like I honestly, for most of the round, because I had the GPS on my watch, I wasn't even on my phone, which was an absolute blessing. Yes, and if you want to make your rice really good, make it in bone broth. Obviously, that raises the cost of a thing of rice quite significantly, because rice is like the most inexpensive thing in the world, and bone broth is pretty expensive. But yes, if you're a healthy eater, you want to spend a little bit extra and make your rice super good, cooking it in bone broth is fantastic. And yes, like basically I wake up on Sunday morning after housing an entire sausage pizza, and I was like, there's a reason I don't eat like that. My stomach still hurts. It's not ideal, but sometimes it's got to be done. When's the meal prep draft stream? You know, we don't really meal prep. Like today, I had my son was napping. It was early. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. Whatever. Didn't have any obvious work to get done, so I did just make dinner early. I made 4 cups of rice, have it sitting up there. We'll be able to eat it for the next couple days, and then I baked some chicken. But I don't super meal prep out. You don't love to, like, I don't love to eat something that's been sitting in the freezer or the refrigerator for 4 days or whatever. He's just over 6 months old. You know, he's gooing, he's gooing and gone, oohing and on, kind of starting to make the first moves, like he might be crawling soon. It's a real trip, man. Yes, I mean, obviously, huge shout out to my wife. She does tolerate chicken and rice, or ground beef and potatoes or whatever for dinner most nights. So, and when she cooks, generally speaking, you know what? I have like no Drake London because Rashi Rice has been on there. Maybe we do a true zero running back team this time. What do we think? Yeah, I have so little Rashi Rice because, or sorry, I have so little Drake London because Rashi Rice was going right next to him, and I just always wanted Rushy rice instead. What's the end game of this diet deal? Well, I mean, right now I'm just trying to. I'm 165 right now, I think, and I'd like to get down to like 155 or so. But also, I mean, I just, this should be pretty obvious, but you just feel a lot better when you when you eat well. I mean, round 3 McBride, yeah, ship it. You just feel when you're eating very clean, when you're eating very few processed foods, when you're not eating a ton of sugar, when you're getting more protein than carbohydrates, your brain and your body just feel a lot better is really all it is. This is okay. Very good question. What is the qualification for zero running back in 2026? Is it just no running backs through 4 rounds? Honestly, that's probably about it. Really, honestly. Like if I take a running back at this next pick, which I might even do. It, to me, this is like almost a zero running back team already with this start. Like I bet I have 0 combinations of this. I've done almost 500 drafts, and I bet this combination of players, I bet have 0 of. Puka. So Puka and McBride, I only have 9 combos of. And this, yes, 0 of 469 drafts contain all 3 of these players. Honestly, it would be fitting for the thumbnail for the running back 1 to be Bucky. 0 running back this year is 1 running back through 3 rounds. I honestly said tongue in cheek. I don't even think it's that far away from being true. Truly. I only feel better eating healthy if I do it for like 2 weeks without cheating. Once the cravings go away from eating healthy, then I'm chilling. So obviously part of the reason why I go through these extended bouts of eating healthy and don't lose a ton of weight is because I generally will do about 1 big cheat meal per 10 days or so. Now it won't always be an entire sausage pizza, but I will end up eating, something with a bunch of sugar in it, or like, big thing of hot wings or whatever. And it is obviously better when you do get away from the craving stage for sure. I don't know, man. I think I'm probably taking a running back here. I think I'm giving up on zero running back build. I think we're probably jamming a running back here. I think we're gonna do. You know what? We'll do the thumbnail guy. We'll do Mr. Thumbnail himself. Overrated Bucky Irving? I mean, honestly, this is something pretty nice about it, especially if you're like active, like if you go to the gym or if you're a runner or if you're golfing or whatever. I mean, you can just eat more. Like you gotta eat a lot to get to an unhealthy amount of like ground beef and potatoes or whatever. All right, Royals game just started. Tracking some home run bets, and wow, that's got to be the first time I've seen Burrow at 49. Burrow at 49 to a team that does not have Chase, to a team that does not have T. Higgins. Wow, am I gonna be a leg up, bro, here and take Montgomery? I might. I think I am going to actually. This is a fine price for David Montgomery, and I do have like very, very, and David Montgomery kind of fits as your running back build. Well, no. All right. Ship it to. We're gonna go Jadarian Price. Bucky Irving, Jadarian Price, Puka Nacua, Drake London, and 1 Mr. T. McBride. Going to be hard to find quarterbacks on this team, though. Why do so many streamers put a player on their thumbnail and title, but never talk about said player during that stream? Well, you're not gonna get me on this one, Kevin, because I just did it to start this stream. But I will tell you that in general, the reason why a streamer would put a player on their thumbnail and title, but never talk about said player, is that you are generally going to find more interest from an audience member who does not know you by seeing a player So you just see the player and whatever. That's fine. Click on it, see what it is. If I put my own face on the thumbnail, like I would think you, Kevin, on YouTube, you don't know who I am, probably. I don't recognize your screen name. So you probably clicked on this because you probably wanted to see someone talk about Bucky Irving. I would guess. And that's a little bit of YouTube 101 for you there, brother. Am I worried about Gainwell? I am worried about Gainwell, bro. I am. Did Sharps not get his surgery until recently? Yes, he did not get his surgery until February. So because he didn't get his surgery till February, I think November is probably going to be the timing for him. That's fair. So maybe if you know about that's fair, maybe you do know who I am. Yes, carbohydrates are not bad for you at all. It's just the standard American diet tends to be overweighted on carbohydrates and underweighted on protein. That's really all it is. Yes, Chad, they are. They're cooked. I can't believe it. I cannot believe this team. Best team best team in the season they were the best team in the playoffs. They were the best team in the regular season. Okay, all right. Kevin's been watching. Give Kevin a salute. I haven't said this in a while, but I want to give a big thumbs up and a big salute, because obviously there are how many people are watching right now? 264 people watching right now. I mean, I don't know how many people have been in the chat, maybe 100, but I want to give a big thumbs up, a big salute, a big thank you to all of the watchers and the viewers who are just chilling, who just watch. They're hanging out, having a good time. I appreciate all of you guys. Just know that your time spent here hanging out is appreciated. Oh, you're all good guys. You're all aces to me, bro. All right, I'm gonna have a hard time finding quarterback points on this team, so I'm gonna take one Mr. Actually, I'm gonna take Drake May. I never really take Drake May. My stacks are not set up great here. We're gonna do a little D May. Do I know the O-line guy that does analysis? I assume you're talking about Brandon Thorne, who he runs a Substack. I think it's like In the Trenches, something to the trenches. I don't know him though. No, I don't know the offensive line guy. I mean, I'm sure if I reached out to him, he could potentially pop in, but I don't know him. Probably I could stack him with Ramondre. Is that even good? I mean, my wide receivers are pretty good. Let's take Ramondre and then let's check the construction tool. 2 quarterbacks, highest advance rate. I'm in a very bad portion of the tree for advancing. And then, yeah, so maybe this will be a hyper fragile team with 4 running backs. Any idea how to fix the issue that fantasy football YouTube as a concept versus other hobbies has low rewatchability for videos, meaning rewatching a 2024 ranking running back video never happens? Basically, I don't have an answer for this. I really don't. The answer to this is probably, honestly, what Mason is doing with the Flock League, where you make it about the entertainment value and not about the results of the league. But basically, the reason why I stream every day, the reason why I put videos out on Saturdays, like a lot of other best ball people don't do that. Like a lot of other best ball people maybe stream twice a week, or there's no best ball stuff on Saturdays or Sundays, is because of that issue of like the rewatchability of the videos is so low that I want every time when someone checks my channel for there to be something they haven't seen before is kind of the general idea. I listen to you on my commute home. I used to listen to audiobooks and learn stuff. Society's loss is my gain. Are people too high on Byshell Tootin? Not in my opinion, but I love Byshell Tootin. at work. Appreciate the entertainment. Salute to you. Hey, grinding on Memorial Day. GM Purple Yosh. Watching is all I can afford to do. Yeah, dude. Filling up the gas tank on the way to this golf trip, I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, this guy on the left turn, Burrow naked, Dak naked. Don't know what's happening there. Honestly, this is actually the bigger issue, which is that a fantasy football video is never going to go viral. Like, it can go viral in our corner of the internet, but not in like the overall internet, you know? Like, even like the fantasy footballers who are like, you know, as big as it gets, they're not going to go like mega viral. Like, they're not going to get like, I don't even know what is the most views that a fantasy footballer's video has ever gotten. Have they ever had 1 million views on a video? I really don't know. It's totally possible they could have. Ooh, this actually would be a great Josh Downs click, because that's another quarterback for me to take later. Or Pearsall then Purdy, maybe. Let's take Downs first, and then we'll see. How much does it cost to fill your tank? I mean, it depends. You know, what is 12 times 450, whatever that is. 12 times 450 is $50 roughly. Yeah, about $50 to do your tank. Evergreen content, something like fantasy, seems very hard. Yeah, you have to do something that doesn't go to zero immediately. Thoughts on my most drafted player through 100 by Shell Tootin? I love it. I love it. I love it. By week 11. Oh man, I can't do Stafford because it's double bye weeks. You know what? Xavier Worthy. Live a little, Davis. Get your guys. I'm just here for the YouTube Davis-matic experience. I just like that you cover football stats and info. I don't want to hear about a bunch of BS about you going to the grocery store the other day. Well, you're going to get a little bit of going to the grocery store. My apologies. Has any BBM winning team been drafted on stream? I don't believe so. I believe they went back and checked, and Karain did not draft his on stream. This is the most viewed footballers video. It's a dad jokes don't laugh challenge, 276,000. Is that their, yeah, well, $5.99 a gallon in California and crazy. I don't know what a viral fantasy video would be. Maybe if you guys had Sam Sherman base jump off a building after winning 2 million, that could probably work. Jason Kelce drafted his brother in what round? Yeah, you know, and that's why I think, you know, I'm fine being in my own corner of the internet. I don't need to go viral. I think the corner of the internet that I'm in right now is proven to be stable enough. What month team drafted as 1 BBM the most? No, it's June, right? Because Liam drafted in June, and Sam drafted in June, and didn't the BBM 5 winner draft in June also? I think June has been the most. That's been the top, right? I'm trying to think, because I know Karain was in June, so June is the hot month, I think. And yes, I mean, this is also the answer, is that very, very few people make enough living off of like the AdSense, you know, like the view money. It's having a product. Like even the biggest YouTube channels, like the stuff I watch, like Sam Sulek or Chris Bumstead or Jeff Nippard, like the workout guys, they're not making a living off of the YouTube part of it. They're effectively using the YouTube channel as like marketing, more or less. Man, I am cooked at quarterback here. Cooked. All right, we're gonna do JCM again, and I've got to figure out a plan for what I'm gonna do at quarterback. In dimes, Brissett. Oh, sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. The world pups are going okay. Because I wasn't going. I actually did draft a fair bit of Ferran Torres. I definitely have drafted some guys who are not even coming. Like I tell you what, I drafted a lot of João Pedro on Brazil stuff, who is not even called up. So that one is not great. Blue dude, that one not loving that. Two BBM champions drafted on July 18th, I think. Oh, yes, it was the regular season winner and the BBM winner, and I believe maybe the DK winner as well. Makes a lot of sense why that time of year would be optimal, though, because we're starting to get some good, clear, concise information. All right, this is how I'm going to save myself a quarterback. We're going to do more Malik Willis, who I think I think Malik Willis is just a really good click, but he fits this build perfectly. Still not sure my game plan, but I think I'm saving all 150 elims for August. So saving the eliminators for August actually makes even more sense than BBM, because closing line value is going to matter way less in that competition because of the limited number of fields that we're doing, you know. And a catastrophic injury, this sounds weird, but like a catastrophic injury is actually worse for your elim team than your BBM team, the way that I would conceive of it. The golf trip was to the Quad Cities in Illinois, and we played at TPC Deer Run, a place called Fire Lake, and then we played a Muni course for our scramble. The casino was Bally's Quad City, which was, it was fine. It was a nice little casino, but I got to play in-person cards for the first time in a long time. Played some 1-2 no limit, because that was all they had spread for a couple hours. Was pretty fun. Here you go. Last year's Eliminator champion, moderator of the Davis Maddock YouTube channel, mentioned that that's what he did last year. Is the construction tab taking into account your current roster, or just what the rates were last year? So these are historical rates based on similar teams to your current roster composition, not just from last year, but for the entirety of Best Ball Mania. So this is the flock tool has all teams that have ever been drafted since the beginning of Best Ball Mania. They're all popped in this tool, and then it adjusts based off of the positional allocations and the cost you have used to acquire them. So that's what it is. That is what the guiding principle is. I did not throw any dice, no craps. I played a little bit of blackjack, a little bit of roulette, which was I don't know, kind of fun. Whatever. I'm kind of a fuddy-duddy. I don't love the table games, which I understand is lame about me. I mean, do I take another dimes team? Oh, he already went, so never mind. Got taken out of my hands. You know what? I will take Hunter Henry, another guy I never really take, but I've got May unstacked right now, and I can probably be fine with 2 tight ends on this team. What would you say to someone who says that part of the tool with past history is results oriented? I mean, it is literally results oriented. It's not results oriented. It is literally just results. It's just telling you historically, like, this is the part of the game tree. Any thoughts on the tool not adjusting for the new quarterback meta? I mean, to me, I think that is one of the nice parts about it, is that it kind of has all parts of the metas encapsulated. You know what? I'm getting light on Jalen McMillan because I've got so much Ted Hurst. So one of the things that this is like one of the things I really like about the tool is that it is not too overt based off of kind of opinion based stuff on what's happening this year. It's more of an overarching analysis of the way that football and fantasy football and best ball have worked. Because I think one of the hardest things to do is think about, well, should I take an extra wide receiver or should I take an extra running back? And there are more sophisticated solutions that exist to that problem. And, there are plenty of ways to, find that stuff on the internet. But I kind of like the historical context that the tool provides. That's just my personal thing. Yes, it is very nice bumper lanes. I think of it like that. I am Peter. I am not a folder. I know quite a bit about poker. I am certainly when playing 1-2, I am gonna play a lot of hands because if you lose a $300 pot, like you don't want to lose a $300 pot, but it's not like playing 2-5. We're like, oh shit, I just lost an all in 2-5, and now I don't want to go golfing tomorrow because I'm bummed out. So I got all in on my third hand, tens versus jacks on like I think it was a 2-4-9 board. Raised pre-flop, called a 3-bet, got it all in. For weekly winners draft, is it best to just take one elite quarterback and then load up? I honestly, Richard, have not done a ton of thinking about weekly winners. I really haven't. No, it does not adjust for different contests. It does not adjust for different styles of advance rate. It is just Best Ball Mania data, to my knowledge. All right. I do need another quarterback. All right, sure. I didn't really know what to do. I feel kind of paralyzed here. May, Willis, Bucky, Price, Ramondre, JCM, Puka Nacua, Drake London, Josh Downs, Xavier Worley, Jalen McMillan, Dijon Stribling, Trey McBride, Hunter Henry. Could probably get away with 2 quarterbacks. Could definitely get away with just 5 running backs. I need to keep clicking wide receivers though, for sure. Maybe a Kayshawn Booty click is coming. Do we have any home runs in Kansas City, New York yet? Because that's the nope. All right, just Bellinger. Yeah, the D plus is coming on this one. They're not gonna be loving me today, but that's okay. I don't do everything I do to appease myself to the tool gods. All right, but you know what? I'm just gonna take Brissett now. And then think about it, because I did think I wanted a third there. And I knew I only wanted 2 tight ends. McBride and Henry is good enough. Could have done that. Could have done Rodgers then Bernard. Yeah, Booty is out of there. I think on DraftKings in the 20 round drafts, I do think that Kyle Williams is probably a little bit draftable. Like, he was a 3rd round pick. I don't think they're just going to give up on him. I think the tool is nice additional information to have, though you could argue it's 6 runs of best ball. We have not however many the million teams in the data set. For sure. I think that for my thinking, the fact that this tool is $47 a year for like the whole best ball portfolio, and for the overlay and the week 17 correlation and the advance rate data and the combo ownerships, I don't think you're going to find a better bang for your buck overlay. And I don't think I think the idea that Mason had was that most people who are drafting a lot of best ball teams probably want to make their own decisions. Like, they're kind of like me. Like, they're like, I think that this thing is going to happen. I think that the Commanders are going to be the offense you had to have this year, or Cam Ward is going to be way better this year. So the easiest way to help people draft teams based on their own hunches is to just give them the maximal amount of information, but not start the tool from a place of this is who you should take. Was kind of the thought based on my assumption. I don't even know if it does make sense for Philly to add Booty at this point because they have Wicks. Wicks is just like a version of Kayshon Booty that can separate, you know? All right. One more wide receiver. Ooh, you know what? Do we take a Chris Bell? Chris Bell actually fits this team because our early season stuff should be good and taken care of with Puka and London, but we really just need to find a third guy who can spike. And now we've got everyone stacked. And then I had a final running back. I don't know. These spots are so dark. Also, yes, also Hollywood Brown is literally on the Eagles. That's true. I got to be honest. I had forgotten that. I had forgotten that Hollywood Brown is on the Eagles. That was one that had slipped past me. When I started like 17 years ago, we used ESPN and the projections were 90% wrong. It's all just guessing. I mean, a lot of stuff is guessing. At the end of the day, I mean, there are very mathematical ways to guess and you can be pretty Bayesian, but a lot of it is guessing. You know what? I'm actually going to do, this one is for my guy, Sus Edwards, but here's a Jordan James instead of Kalen Black on this team. How about that? How about a little Jordan James instead of Kalen Black? Oh, I think Carter just hit a home run. Why not Big Mike? I like Big Mike, but let me show you something that would probably make you feel trepidatious about jamming one Mr. Big Mike. Look at my running back exposures, bro. You're gonna be stunned. Mike Washington Jr. with pre-draft stuff is my 6th most drafted running back. Are you feeling good about that? I am not feeling good about that. I'm actually feeling bad about that. So I'm comfortable taking Big Mike, but I don't need to have 20% of my teams with Big Mike. I do like him. I like him more than the average bear though. It's all gambling. One 350-pound nose tackle landing on a league winner's ankle changed everything. I don't think that's happening. I think Mike Washington Jr. will probably be the running back too for the Las Vegas Raiders. That's my guess. I mean, you can't feel that amazing about Mike Washington, I don't think. Like you can like it. It was definitely not round 20. Mike, I mean, I can literally see the average cost here. Average cost on Mike Washington. My average cost of my average pick of him was 142. So not that good. My average a closing line value is negative 47.2. So could be better, could be worse. Actually, no, it really couldn't be worse. I was buying the top. All right, fine. I'm going to disregard the tool. I feel fine about our wide receivers. I feel very sketchy about the running backs. My final running back selection is going to be Ollie Gordon. What if the Miami Dolphins just run the wing tee? I haven't clicked Mike Washington once. I mean, I don't know if you're wrong. It's fine, though. What is the correlation between RAS and your best ball ownership? I mean, very high. Very, very, very high. For certain. Okay. How good was this team? Drake May, Malik Willis, Jacoby Brissett, Bucky Irving, Jadarian Price, Ramondre Stevenson, Corey Krosky-Merritt, Jordan James, Ollie Gordon, Puka Nacua, Drake London, Josh Downs, Xavier Worthy, Jalen McMillan, Dijon Stribling, Chris Bell, Trey McBride, and Hunter Henry. I actually like this team. I like the May stuff. I like the Malik Willis stacks. Honestly, Jacoby and McBride are pretty fine. All right, member Matt wants a little sauce here, which we can do. CD Lamb at 10, fine. Saquon Barkley, anytime you can draft a 30-year-old running back as your anchor, you got to do it. Chris Olave had his first good game of his career. Got to take him at 34. Javonte Williams topped 10 fantasy points one time the final 8 games of the season. Got to take him in round 4. Rome Odunze, frame mugged by his 2 rookie teammates. Got to take him in round 5. Carnell Tate has never been a wide receiver 1, but surely he'll do it for the Titans. Tucker Kraft, surely he will continue to lead the NFL in yak. Jaden Reed has never played over 75% of snaps in a game. Got to take him in round 8. Jordan Love, surely this will be the year LaFleur will invent the forward pass. Kyle Pitts did finally have one good game. Cam Ward, I got nothing. I got nothing for Cam Ward in round 11. Rashad White is the worst interior runner in the NFL. He thanks God every day that Woody Marks exists to take the heat off of him. Rashid Shaheed had more games with no catches than games with 3 or more catches for the Seattle Seahawks. Buying the Pico top on Trey Tucker. Tajay Spears does not have an ACL. Dylan Sampson is a passing down back on the worst team in the NFL. Greg Dulcich at least has cool hair. And Michael Penix is not a starting quarterback, so you got to take him in round 18. There we go, boys. All right, go enjoy your Memorial Days. I'm going to go do the same. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure that you're checking out the best ball tool over at flockfantasy.com. If you sign up over there, use code Davis. Get yourself a nice little discount. Get yourself a voucher bundle. Get yourself a team review, some trade questions, some start sets. Check out the best ball portfolio tool over there. Link to that is in the description and in the comments. I will see you guys all back tomorrow. Have great days.